Hello there, Dustin Rose behind the Audix SCX25A microphone and the Rattlesnake XLR cable. Today we have a beautiful, beautiful mahogany guitar here. It is a Breedlove Frontier, and it is in the concerto body size, which means it's a little bit bigger than anything else that they have. It takes the place of the Dreadnought. It's their answer to the Dreadnought. So let's get into this thing. So I have a long story that goes with this guitar. I will cut it down to a little bit shorter version. When my father and I were out in Bend, Oregon at the Breedlove headquarters, we were getting our guitars, a couple of my guitars set up because I was going into the studio and I needed some pickups installed in one of them, or a couple of them. I can't remember now. This was several years ago. And we were standing in the lobby talking with some folks there, and all of a sudden this door bursts open, which it's the conference room doors. It bursts open, and Tom Bedell, the owner of Breedlove and Bedell Guitars, he bursts out of the conference room and he has this guitar and he goes, "Check this out." And my dad and I were like, okay. And so my dad grabs it from him. He immediately grabs it from him and starts playing it and starts strumming it. My dad's eyes just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just kind of not paying attention, and Dad goes, okay. My dad goes, "You try it." So I start playing it, and I thought, wow, that is totally unique. I've never heard any other guitar like this guitar. And so Tom said, Tom Bedell, he goes, "What do you hear? What do you hear?" And my dad, I couldn't think of, like, I can't even explain or compare it to any other guitars that I've heard. I can't even explain what I'm hearing. I'd have to, think about it and process it. And my dad said, "It's a mahogany guitar that sounds bigger and is fuller and is louder and has, it just has all of the properties of mahogany, but it's more." And Bedell goes, "That's it. That's it. That's the concerto size." And so he hauls us into his room and he talks about how his office there at Breedlove, and he tells us how this particular shape, this size, was a brand new model, a brand new size that they were doing. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago, and he explained to us the concerto, the thought behind the concerto size, and how it was the most pleasant frequencies and the most articulate, while also having the biggest sound of all of the Breedlove designs, because they were taking away the Dreadnought. They were discontinuing the Dreadnought at that point and bringing in the concerto, and it was just going to be this all-around revolutionary size. And that was the only difference that we could see. I mean, this is great mahogany. Obviously, it's a really, really good mahogany, but what made this so much different was the size and the way that they designed this particular build size in the concerto. Now, this is the prototype for the Frontier. It's actually stamped prototype, and this was the first one that they made of the all solid mahoganies in the concerto size. This is it. This is actually the one. And the funny thing was, my dad goes, "Well, we need to get one of these." And Tom says, "Yeah, we can order one." And Dad goes, "No, I want that one. I want the prototype, because that one's special." And you know what? Maybe it is, or maybe it's just the design is special, and all of them are special. They probably are all special, but there was something sentimental between having this one and, we had to have this one. So my dad said, "I want my name on that one." Of course, I went back later and put my name on it, so he couldn't have it. So it ended up becoming my guitar, but we share it. I share with my dad. And it's very special, and every time we see Tom Bedell, he asks, "How is that prototype? How's that mahogany?" And it's always amazing. The guitar is amazing. The answer is always just, it's an amazing guitar you built, Tom. And I have to tell you, this is probably one of the most... Now, we've talked about mahogany before. The Firelight is a great, great guitar that they make, that Breedlove makes. The M20 is a great guitar that Guild makes. I think it's the 00015 or 16, 17. I can't remember. The Martin makes, which is great, all solid mahogany. But this one is different to me. It has a completely different voicing, and it has completely different strengths. And each one of those have their own strength, but this one is completely different. When I think of mahogany, I don't think of something that is humongously loud, like maple or rosewood. Those guitars tend to be louder and have bigger bass and bigger trebles and very little mid-range. Mahogany tends to be more mid-rangey, more smoky, more woody sounding. I don't know. These are just words that come to my mind when I think of mahogany. The difference between most all mahogany guitars and this one that are solid mahogany, not with like a Sitka spruce top or something, but just solid mahogany, like the ones I've mentioned. Those ones don't seem to be as full and loud. Now that's a general stereotype answer for you. So let me just get down to actually playing this thing and see what you guys think. I think it'll show you what I'm saying as far as when you strum it, it just seems like it has more volume, more frequency range, and a bigger ability to fill in a sound that is a much necessary or needed sound or desirable sound that you might want to have. So with all that said, and with confusing everybody, let me play it and let you hear it for yourself. Well, as you can tell, there's just a beautiful, beautiful, rich mahogany sound that comes out of this. It just seems louder and bigger and fuller and warmer. All of the great things that we love about mahogany, it's just all there. Now, I didn't give you the whole story. So my dad said, I want that one. And Tom says, well, Tom Bedell says, well, I guess, we can put your name on it. But the problem is we have it scheduled to be at NAMM, the NAMM show that January that year. And so he said, well, we got to take it there. And this is the only concerto size that we have. So it ended up going there, and then a bunch of stuff that summer. And it actually took probably a year and a half from the time that we first saw Tom Bedell burst out of that conference room and hand this guitar and say, check this out. It was probably at least a year, maybe close to a year and a half between that time and the time that we actually got it in our hands. So it has been all over the world. In fact, literally all over the world, he said, and been played by lots of people, and has really been a blessing to me. It's just a rich sounding guitar. I used it in my last album, and on the next album that I've actually just finished recording. This has been on it, along with a lot of other guitars. But I just absolutely love this guitar. Now, who is this guitar meant for? Now, that is a really good question. I can't see how any real diverse guitar player who needs something that's really rich and big and full sounding, if you're like a singer-songwriter, a studio musician, if you're in a band, if you're in a worship team. I actually used this at a summer camp to help lead music for youth, and I used it a couple different weeks of summer camp, and it sounded big and full and warm, and it sounded great. So I can't really see any limitations to this. Now, you're not going to get a huge shimmering Sitka spruce top sound out of it, but you are going to get any sort of mahogany qualities that you want out of it. You can be intimate and articulate and very sweet and warm with it. You can also be very big and loud with it. And it's very dynamic. It has a lot of different range to it dynamically. You can dig into it and get real aggressive with it, or you can be very sweet and articulate and intimate with it. And it just responds really well. I think it's because the body size is the concerto. Now, if it was the concert size, it would be a little bit more articulate, maybe-ish, because that's what the concert, and of course the parlor size would be a lot more into finger picking and a lot less into heavy strumming. But this size really lends itself to being a great all-around guitar, more so towards the strumming and heavy strumming stuff, but really doesn't limit itself to that. It's a great guitar. I highly recommend checking it out. I don't know about the availability right now, but check out if you can find one used, or if you can find one that's a new one. I definitely would give it a shot and check it out, play it, see what you think about it. Again, my name is Dustin Rose, and if you like anything that you heard here, I would really love it if you would hit subscribe and thumbs up if you like it, and follow along with me on my journey through different guitars and sharing with you different music. If you want to keep in touch with me and you want to look at like the concerts that have been canceled because of the coronavirus, you can check out my webpage. Concerts have been being taken down every couple weeks. We have to cancel something or a few things here and there. And but if you'd like to keep up with my projects, my live performance dates, check out my website, dustinrose.com, and keep in touch with me. In addition to subscribing and liking my stuff, I would love to keep in contact with you. And if you have a different opinion of this guitar, if you have an experience with the Breedlove Frontier series, whether it be the concerto or the concert or the concertina, let me know what you think. Give us your opinion. Let's have this musical conversation, and let's stay in touch. Let's engage together in a musical conversation and keep the discussion going. I appreciate you joining with me today, and we'll see you again next week. God bless.